All right, those that are coming in love and light and positive vibes, greetings, welcome. Thank you for joining. The title says, not with the intention to disappoint. Not with the intention to disappoint. Anyway, those of you that operate in, good, benevolent energy, to you, I greet and hope you're doing all right. Hope you're doing well. All that good old stuff on your life's path and journey. Okay? Now, this is a mini discussion. I felt like it's important to maybe share this. Okay? It's not required, but I just feel like it's useful and important. Because of the nature of the types of things I talk about as someone that resonate as a star seed, someone that resonate as somebody that's awakening, ascending, conscious, evolved and all that good old shit. Someone who believes in, autonomy, being an individual, challenging everything we think we know. I felt like it's important for me to say this too. It's not with the intention to disappoint. See, when you all hear me make the statements of, when I'm cheerleading the high vibe tribe and I'm saying, y'all hear me going to the left and telling y'all give them hell, boom, bitch. Like when y'all hear me in that energy, it's because you have a right to your divinity, to your individuality. But let me make it clear. The paths that we take, the ascension and all these things is not built with the goal, motivation, and intention that we want to just irritate the fuck out of people. Or we just are looking for ways to disappoint our families and our friends and we wake up and say, I just want to disappoint them all. I want to piss them off royally. Just because, right? At least I can speak for those of us that we operate more from the benevolent space, meaning that it has absolutely nothing to do with that. But when we've lived a life of people pleasing, we eventually learn how this has served in a negative way, especially when it starts to cause you to deny you. It's one thing to purposefully go about looking for ways to just be a problem. It's another thing altogether when it's like this has nothing to do with trying to disappoint you or this one or that one, or not upholding something that maybe this one values and that one values and this one. But it's about putting yourself in the position of honor, understanding that first and foremost, you're not here to honor someone else's journey and path necessarily, their framework, their perceptions, if it's not working for you. They're here to honor that if that's where they are at. So since we expanded to a place of being able to accept people that are different than us, as we wake up, we become very broad in understanding. So we're able to understand that, hey, people that are different than me, it's not because they're trying to purposefully necessarily irritate me or disappoint me because of, being different than me. But it's their path. It's their chosen right and path to have a view different than mine, to want to go down a path different than the one that I would take, without me being filled with hate or taking it personal. When we are in the taking it personal energy is because we're not quite woke and we haven't dealt with some of the core wounds just yet. Okay? When we're still taking it like, oh, you don't want to whoop. You waking up now, you're on a conscious ascension path, and you don't believe like how the same way we didn't believe this way for 2,000 years, like whatever, right? That's coming from a wounded place, and it's coming from program. Because every last one of us have a right. And people that claim to care for us and love us, just like people we can't claim to care for and love, should not be made to feel some kind of way. That's conditional love. Okay? And we don't live our days here to put on tap dancing shoes, to tap dance for our friends, our family, or social groups or whatever, so that they are happy. So I think how they want me to think so that they won't be disappointed. I believe how they want me to believe so they won't be disappointed. I choose to conduct and act this way so that they won't be disappointed. I choose to, what I'm saying? But do you hear where that frequency is going? And it's 20 years, and it's 30 years, and it's 40 years. Some of us, then we hit the 50s and beyond. And we're frustrated. We suppress and oppress the frustration because we're not living according to our own soul's resonance. We're living according to what everyone else has dictated. Based on their understanding of the universe, their understanding of source, their understanding of social norms, their yeah, I'm saying that. Do you understand? And please take this with a neutral stance, because for those who want to do that and continue to do that, guess what? It is their free will right to do so as well, without judgment. For people who want to opt to just kind of stay in the comfort zones of the people pleasing and the whatever, we shouldn't be attacking them necessarily either. Because guess what? Isn't it a choice? Isn't it? Isn't it their choice? So we can't, it gets very fuzzy here because the double standards that are always seeming to be at play. If we want full acceptance, if we want to scream from the mountaintops equal rights and acceptance, then it's always flipped. It's going to always be every direction. You can't command and demand honor and respect and free this bitch, woo-de-woo. But then when it comes to something different than you, then there is a special clause. No. It's only an issue when we all start crossing lines and boundaries. When we start taking it in our own hands to attempt to dictate and control another full adult being's life, whether this is passively, aggressively, indirectly, or directly or not. That's when it's an issue. But I just wanted to say, it needs to be said, because everything gets so taken out of context. I've seen this. It's inevitable. There's going to always be one person, at least one person, that take things way 100% literal or to the far left. And it's based on their mind as well. Their understanding, their level of development, all that. We don't do what we do collective, the high vibers out there. It wasn't your journey and path. But your goals, when you went through dark nights of the soul, when you went through all various stages and changes and did different things, your frequency, underlining motive and intention wasn't, I'm doing this because I want to piss them off. That could be how they take it, but that's not our problem. It's not with the intention to disappoint. But when we start waking up, we realize that we're ultimately here to not disappoint ourselves. And what do I mean by that? Our soul's journey, our higher self, that's the ultimate. That's the number one. And the reason why I'm saying it, not in a selfish way, because we're the ones that end up, like, let's just play with that. We're the ones that end up disgruntled. You got people stuck in shit and it's coming out in their behavior because they don't want to speak the truth. They don't want to admit that they're unhappy. They don't want to admit that they don't want to be there. They don't want to admit that they don't feel this way. They don't want to admit that they don't think this way or believe this way. And everybody put on a fake face and keep it going, keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. But there is discontent. It festers into resentment. And then it comes out because it's still energy, and we can squelch it and squelch it and medicate it and medicate it. But eventually, it comes out in how we'll talk to one another. It's going to come out in just subtle ways when we least expect it, bitch. We'll be extra edgy all the time because we don't want to be here, bitch. You know what I'm saying? Whoa, we'll be extra on edgy status. You know, like, I'm just saying, like... And many live like this, and you know, they've become accustomed to it, and to each his own. I'm simply explaining why that's the primary goal. Authenticity of your journey. I didn't say perfection. I said authenticity. And we ought to feel safe. And listen to me, especially when it comes to people that claim to be either our soul tribe, our family, loved ones. See, the shit is twisted, isn't it? Because that should be the place where you are given a sacred, safe space to be without being exploited. That should be the place where there's actual unconditional love and not this fake shit people post on Instagram. Do you guys know how many people that I've actually had close, intimate connections to at some point in history where you wouldn't have known? Their social media presence appeared as if they were on the money. They say all the right things. They get an audience. But when it comes to the practicality of actually, it ain't there. It ain't there, man. And what are we supposed to do with that? This is what we're supposed to do with it. Honor our own path and understand that that's what we're here to do. We're not here to drag someone else. Okay? You're going to be accused of being so many things if you attempt to do this. So we let these folks go. We move on. And we honor our path. That's our freedom. So, collective, don't allow people to guilt trip you. I'm sharing this for you all as well as people that have a tendency to do that. Just being fair. It's not a requirement. I'm actually being nice. There's a vast difference. The frequency is different when people are doing shit, you know, because we've all dealt with those types of people. We've dealt with narcissists because it's usually narcissists or young adults or immature people. One of the three that is doing something intentionally to irritate you. Okay? Like I said, a young adult and a child which doesn't have the development. A narcissist people who lack true inner development. Okay, that's still, even though they're an adult, they're children in adults' bodies, so they're still going around living their lives just operating out of, I want to irritate someone. That's a child. It's a child. I want to do this with the sole purpose, bitch. Right? With the whole drive. Like, that's the whole get down, because otherwise they wouldn't even care. Haven't you guys ever heard of situations where people are fighting for a relationship and they don't want the motherfucker? And they're doing it because they just want to win. They just don't want, so-and-so to go run to their baby mama number 2 or baby mama number 1 or whoever the fuck, bitch. The motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all know what I'm talking about. Because most of us, when we were younger, those of us that are older, when we were younger, we kind of operated like that at some point. But see, that's the same energy, right? People doing things with the sheer intention. It ain't got nothing to do with I'm in love, bitch. It ain't got nothing. Half of the time, if we're honest, we look back at that shit, we couldn't stand the motherfuckers. But we didn't want them, whoever the them is. I don't want them to have them. Right? We are not operating like that, collective. That's not what our drive is. That's not why we do what we do. It's not why we speak our truths. We speak our truths because the truths need to be heard. We have a voice, and people have fought long and hard to silence us, to keep illusions going. But we're not doing it with the intention of, I just want to irritate people. Pause, freeze frame. A year and a half or so ago, even maybe 2, when Bloom from Within Love started really blooming, especially here on TikTok, I was really just tapping in and sharpening development. At that time, I didn't have understanding or knowledge in terms of the specific shits that was going on with me behind my back. I didn't have that released to me yet. Do you see where I'm going? I didn't have it released yet. But because some of that energy would come out in collective readings, it was reading email, bitch. It was coming out status. People was getting their chonies in a bunch. People that applied to. Because it was kind of like, getting somebody's wig snatched off on TV. But it wasn't that wasn't what I was doing when I was sitting there getting ready for the reading. It wasn't like, I'm finna do this reading, bitch, and I'm fencing to, like, that's not where I was coming from. I didn't even know yet that some of those very storylines was to do with some of my kin folks and motherfuckers I fuck with. You heard? I didn't know yet. Not yet. It was a little bit after that where my guidance team almost pushed me into going there in a reading because of something that kept popping up. And I kept like trying to shake it off or push it away. And when I was pushed to, and then it was like the, jaw drop, I was like, oh shit. Right? So my whole point is, people with the pure kind of hearts, we're not perfect, but we don't go about with the goal of, I'm fencing to piss them off. Now, when we embrace the shadow, yes, we will kind of start standing up for ourselves, defending ourselves. And that's a very in-your-face energy, yes. Yes. But again, if you look at it from a whole perspective, it's in the name of what? Defense. If people have been coming at you, they can't fight you like a man or woman. You know what I'm saying? So hiding behind fake ass profiles and, hiding behind, this one and that one. And so when people want to choose to come at you like that, you be like, okay, boom, bitch. 'Cause I ain't scared. I don't need to go. You know what I'm saying? Right? He's like, boom. You heard? You want to be slick with talking about me, but I'm going to do this shit. You know what I'm saying? With my name, bitch. My picture, bitch. You know, whoa. I'm being bad. But that's a whole nother frequency, though. That's defense. Because, you know, when you've had bullies and shit fucking with you, then that's what that energy is about. It's like, okay, you want to play that game. This is finna get real ugly. You should have left me alone. When, you know what I'm saying? Whoa. You should have. Right? But on a normal, in our natural state, that's not the mode of operation. Truth be told, most of us just wanted to be left the fuck alone. Whether people agree with us or not, in the name of understanding, look, I don't agree with everything about you, but you don't see me fucking with you, do you? So step. You heard? I ain't trolling you, so stop trolling me. You heard? But so I'm certainly not advocating for anyone out there to go about their lives like trying on purpose to disappoint their families and disappoint their friends and, you know, purposefully just for the sake of doing it. I'm simply advocating, as most light workers are, the importance of honoring your authentic self, because it's you that you betray in the end if you don't. And all of those that you love, that you think you're benefiting by portraying your soul, is getting a disservice as well. Because they're not reaping the authentic you. They're not reaping the benefit that they were supposed to be able to get through you honoring the authentic you. It's like we stagnate them too, believe it or not. But each and every one of us have a right, okay? So please we all have our perspective, rights, and journeys we want to take. If we want to stay asleep, we can stay asleep. If we want to stay in the comfortable familiar because then we have a right to do that as well. Just like those who want to wake up and shake up things have a right to do that and be left the fuck alone as well. Okay? So hope that helps somebody out there, whether here on my on my YouTube later. It's not with the intention to disappoint, but it's with the intention to no longer disappoint ourselves by denying our true soul's resonance and our true soul's journey just to keep the peace. We're the ones that end up feeling at dis-ease, disturbed of peace, because we're not being authentic.